Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my wrap up. So, I've just got one more book to show you guys, which this one is the one that I actually finished reading today. So it's technically part of February, but I'm going to include it in the January wrap up. And then also, I'm going to show you guys what I am currently the books I'm currently reading right now or am about to start reading. So, yeah. So, anyway, I finished today Fallout by Ellen Hopkins, and this is the third book in her Crank trilogy. The first two books is loosely based on her daughter, and her daughter in the books, her name's Christina, and it basically goes through her addiction to methamphetamine, how she became addicted, and kind of her story with that. And then this third book takes place from the point of view of her three oldest children, Hunter, Autumn, and Summer. So it takes place from their point of view, and basically they're teenagers at this point, and it goes through like what sort of things they're dealing with, and you know how they're feeling, and like sort of what they're dealing with in the fallout of Christina's decisions and how that impacted them, especially Summer, who like was bounced back and forth in the foster care system, how that had an impact on her, and her relationship with her mom, and she sort of knows about her other siblings, whereas Autumn grew up with her grandfather from her dad's side and her aunt Cora, and Autumn doesn't know anything about her parents. They weren't in her life, so she doesn't know about her dad or about Christina, her mom. She doesn't know that she has any other siblings out there. And so pretty much, how that's impacted her in her life, wondering what her parents would be like if she could meet them and all that. And of course, Hunter is her firstborn, and he lives with Christina's mom and dad, his grandparents. They basically adopt him, and so just pretty much goes through his story as well, with his feelings with being raised by his grandparents and his mom not being around, and he gets into some drugs a little bit. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. I really love Ellen Hopkins' writing. I love her books. I pretty much want to get all of her books, because she has this way of writing that just draws you in and makes you connect with the characters, even though you might not have gone through anything remotely close to what these characters are going through. You still connect with them, and like you're wanting to cheer them on, and like you really end up caring a lot about these characters, no matter what. Like, sometimes they make stupid decisions that you're like, what the heck are you doing? Don't do that. But you still really care about these characters, and you fall in love with them. And so I really like that about her books. and I love her writing style. It's written in verse, so yeah, I enjoy her books, and I cannot wait to read more of them. I have a couple more of her books on my shelf, which I need to get to. So yeah, but this I gave a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only thing about this book that kind of bugged me, which is why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5. But the only thing that kind of bugged me was I liked seeing the 3 different points of views, and I liked each kid's story. I was equally interested in all 3 of their stories. The only thing I didn't like was the transition. The transition between each story. So when she would, switch from Hunter to Autumn to Summer, sometimes I'll be reading about Autumn or Summer, and then something major happens, and then all of a sudden she transitions to someone else. And I'm like, wait, no, go back. I need to know more. I need to find out more. And so, yeah, I feel like the transitions could have been a little bit better. In the beginning, the transitions were okay. I didn't have a problem with it. But some of it towards the middle, like something major would happen, and then it would transition to someone else, and you're like, no, I need more. So that's pretty much the only issue I really had with this. But other than that, I loved it. So yeah, those were pretty much the books that I read in January and sort of beginning of February. And I will show you sort of what I'm reading now and sort of what I plan to read as well. So I told you in my last video in part 1 that I have this jar with reading challenges and some of my books that are on my TBR list. And I did draw out a challenge earlier. I picked one from the jar earlier. And this one that I picked was a book that's been on your shelf for more than 2 years. So this month I'll be reading a book that's been on my shelf for more than 2 years. And so for this challenge, the one I chose, which I was going to read it in February anyway, but I figured it fits the challenge, so why not? And that is Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. It's the 3rd book in the Vampire Academy series. I talked about the first one, or the 2nd book in my wrap-up, my part 1 wrap-up, and I talked about couldn't wait to get to this one, which I've had this one. I bought this one, I think it's been more than 2 years, because I bought like the whole complete set, the whole series. I bought it before I saw the movie, which the movie came out I think 2 or 3 years ago now. So yeah, it's been on my shelf for that long. So I'm getting to it this month. I will. I might start it tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. But I will be getting to it soon. You will see it in my February wrap-up. And the other book, which I started today, about 40 pages in, is The Elite by Kira Cass. again, I talked about the first book, The Selection, in my part 1 wrap up. And so this one, couldn't wait to get to it. I finished the first one like on Sunday and wanted to get to this one, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm reading now. And then, of course, I have 2 other books that I'm not going to show you because they've been on my currently reading list for the past several months. I'm slowly making my way through Game of Thrones and rereading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So those have been on my currently reading for several months. And I'm still reading them. Hopefully I'll finish them this month. We'll see. And that's it. So let me know, you guys, what you've read in January, what books you've read, what you thought were interesting. And if you've read any of these books that I showed you guys, let me know in the comments below and let me know your thoughts about them and what you think. And I will see you guys next time with another video.